My name is Jessica Bloss, and this is a GCU 630 Mathematics recording. My friends, in math, we have been talking about, what have we been learning in math? Sanasia? Measuring, and different things that we do measure. What are some of the tools that we have learned to measure with, Angeline?
We used to measure
With rulers. And on a ruler, what is on a ruler? There's different forms of measurement. What is one of them, Diaz?
the long side on
This side. What's that one?
I forgot the name.
Who can help them out? Jace?
Inches?
Inches. And what about this side? The smaller side. What is this one called, Anaya? Centimeters. So we have inches and centimeters. We've also learned about this. What is this called? Cornell?
A meter stick.
A meter stick. A meter stick. So a meter stick we use to measure big things or small things. Jalea? Big things. So would I measure my car with a meter stick or a ruler? Sanasia? A meter stick. Would I measure my pinky finger with a ruler or a meter stick? Eliana?
A ruler.
A ruler. So different things can be used to measure different objects. Well, what about some other things you can measure? Can anyone in here think about something else that you measure that you don't use a meter stick or a ruler for? Just think for a minute. Do some brain talk. What is something that you either do or you've seen your parents or grandparents or a teacher measure with that wasn't a ruler? Amelia, can you think of one? Miss Chatlin had something that stretched. She did. She had a tape measure like this. Who knows what someone might use a tape measure like this for? Manaya, do you know?
Fix.
Fix what?
To fix different kinds of stuff. Like, say there was a house across the street and it was broke, and then you need a block, and then.
If you were going to measure something for a house or a picture or a dress or something like that, you would use something called a tape measure. This. It's a tape measure.
Has it for a house, he sees a house.
We can see how tall Miss Bloss is with this tape measure. Jace, what's it say down there? Can you read it? 60. 60 inches. The tape measure that one of my friends said that Miss Chetwin used today, this is used for clothes. So sometimes if you need a dress to get made or you have your nice pants, they take and they measure the seam right here. They do the inseam and they see how much they have to take away. Or, ladies, if you're going to a fancy ball, they might take your waist and measure it so that they make sure that the dress will fit you correctly. Or sometimes they need to measure how much they need to take off. That is one way that you measure. We also measure things in our home with a tape measure. We can think of another way that we measure. Eli.
A string. You can put the string up and then measure it. We did it today, and it was pretty fun.
Right. You can measure with a string, and with a string afterwards, then you need to use a what to figure out how big it was?
Or
a ruler.
Inches. It's a big piece of string.
Right. Julia, what's something else you use to measure?
Like he uses sometimes he uses this thing, but I don't know what it's called. It's really big. Like to measure it.
It's not this? No?
Sometimes he uses that, and it's like the size of the door.
Interesting. Find out what it is and bring it back tomorrow and we'll share. What about maybe someone who cooks? What could they measure? Jasmine? Do you know? Do you need help with a friend? Yeah? Giselle, what could they measure? A measuring cup? A measuring cup like these? Sometimes when you're making cookies, you might need a measuring cup. That's what these are. It's not a measuring cup, it's called something else. So what are the spoons called? Do you know?
When you take a little bit of the cookie stuff to put in the cookies, and you take that little spoon and dip it in.
Yep. To make sure all that your cookies are what? The same. What are you doing when you do that?
Same powder?
Not same powder.
Size.
The same size. That's another way you measure when you're making cookies, isn't it? You want to make sure that they're all the cookies are the same size. Because if you get one that's this big, one this big, and my friend Cypress is over, you think Cypress wants to eat the big one or the little one? A big one. We'll fight over the big one. You gotta make sure they're all equal. These are called teaspoons. So sometimes you use these in cooking. A different form of measurement with cooking. Here's a different way of making teaspoons. A beaker that you use when you're cooking.
You could call it a measuring cup.
Measuring cup. This one just has more measurements on it. And these measurements aren't in inches or centimeters. What are these in? When you bake, what are the increments? Can you tell us? You're right up there. What is that? It says cup. So it's in cups, or it's in pints, or ounces. Different ways that we measure. I want you guys to think about maybe a job. Maybe your parents' job. And how they might use measuring in their job. How might they use measuring in their job? My mom is a nurse. And my mom, when she is giving someone medicine, needs to make sure she measures out the right amount. Because if she doesn't, she can make them very sick and die. Eli. Oh, Eli's mom's a nurse too. That's right. The connection sign. That's right, Eli. Jalea, how does your mom measure?
She measures by she has she takes a ruler or a measuring tape to measure the mail, notes in the mail that the people give.
And I know what your mom does. What does your mom do? Tell your friend.
She's a post office.
She does. She works at the post office up by SU. She measures the packages to make sure they'll fit in the mail. She also puts them on something that says how much they weigh. What is that called? King? At the doctor's, you stand on it too. It says, Amelia? What's it called? Starts with an S. Scale.
I was gonna say
A scale. You put your packages on the post office to see how heavy it is on the scale, because if your package is really heavy, you're going to have to pay more money. Whose parents have a different job that use measuring? Ariana?
I don't know if my dad does measuring, but he might do it. He's in the army.
He's in the army, okay.
And he might do it in different ways.
In different ways.
Or maybe his boss does it to measure what the paper or something.
That's true. But your dad in the army, I'm sure, looks at a lot of, what are those things that we read that show us where places are? What is that called? It's called a map. I bet he measures the distance on maps to find out where to go, or how far, or how much gas they need for the tank, things like that.
Sometimes he does have to go on an airplane to go to different places.
Even
I'm
an
not
airplane.
used to go to, I'm not used to was in the army, and my cousin is in the army. My mom used to be in the army too, but when they gave birth to me and my sister, she had to stay home to watch the kids.
I see. Whose parents have a different job that might use measuring? Tanisha?
My mom is at this child place, and she said that she teaches her children how to measure.
Okay. So Sanasia's mom is also a teacher, and she teaches her students how to measure. Let's think. Eliana, what does your mom do? Or dad?
My mom, she doesn't work anymore, but she used to work for old ladies and she used to help them.
Anaya, stop.
She could measure them and see what they're
And see how healthy they are? Anaya? So Anaya's mom works at a nursing home. So she's helping elderly people to make sure they have their medicine. And you know what? At school, we have someone who measures every day. When we go to lunch, Miss Becky, who serves you lunch, she scoops. She has that scoop. She's measuring. She wants, I don't want Jace to get too many carrots. Might make him sick. She measures the food every day too, doesn't she? Miss Chetwin and Miss Blocks, we measure you guys every day. How do we measure you guys? What do we do to measure you guys? What do teachers do to measure students? Manaya? By teaching. How though? Jalea?
By when you're teaching with the measuring tape, you put it up and you measure one of your kids.
But how do we measure or track you? We collect data. What are we collecting data on, Eliana? I'm thinking more along your STAR test. Last week we had the STAR test on your Chromebook, and everybody took one. And we said that we're going to take it how often? How often? Eli?
Like a couple, 2 times.
Not 2 times, once a month. And so when we take that STAR test, Miss Chetwin and I look at, here's September, and here's what my friends knew. And then we look at October. Giselle learned 2 more things. And then we look at the next month. Cypress knows 3 more things. And by the end, we have this data that shows how much you've learned. That's how teachers measure. Wow. You didn't know we were measuring the whole time, did you?
I know the whole time.
You knew the whole time. That's why it's important to do well on those tests. Well, Carson, please stop. My friends, we are now going to do a math. Not really a game. Math practice together. We're going to cook together because I want to show you how math is not just rulers or meter sticks. It is also cooking. Math is all around you. We are going to eat them. Cook them and eat them.
And then you're going to send the picture and then the video.
The video is my homework. On your butt. Crisscross applesauce removable.
Yeah, we're going to help.
Eyes on me. Diaz on your bottom. Cornell, fix your body. I see Giselle is ready. Anaya is ready. Jalea is ready. Bing is ready. I know. What? You need a drink? Why don't you go get a drink and come right back? Guys, I cannot let you listen to why before we get upset. So we are going to make these milk chocolate brownies by Duncan Hines. However, I have friends in here who are allergic to certain things. They aren't allergic to it when we bake it, but for instance, I have someone in here that cannot have eggs raw, or they can't just have eggs cooked. So I need to be the one handling the food. But I am going to have you guys help me measure. I'm going to show you where I measure and how to measure and how it matches up. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Diaz.
And you don't want to get people who have the allergies to get
Right, I don't want to get anyone sick.
Yep, because you do not want to use one. Or you don't want to do on your homework.
Can you please go grab me the scissors off the Mr. So on our recipe, it's going to show us what we need to measure. Eli, no thank you. Turn around. On here it says I need 3 eggs, a 1/4 cup of water, and a 1/2 cup of oil. So there are not peanuts here, but there are eggs. Friends on the table, I need you to sit down.
I know the cracked eggs
I need you to go back to your spot. And chocolatey dusty, the best kind.
I love milk chocolate. I've tasted it. It's the best chocolate.
Because I didn't want to get up to the sink. Okay, you ready? Bring it back in 3, 2, 1. On my measuring cup, it says that we need 1/4 cup of water. So I'm gonna look on here, and here is a 1/4. Ariana, do you see that? Okay. I need Jalea and Ariana to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Jace, check it. Good? Going in. Oh, look at that. We just measured to make brownies. It's the best kind. Next, I need a 1/2 cup of oil. So I need Diaz to come on up here. Ariana, back to your green. You ready? We need a 1/4 cup. I need to get down low. Right here. Okay, yeah. So when the oil hits that line, you tell me to stop. There we go.
I'm running out of oil, but who cares?
Okay, go back to your spot. Thank you.
Smells like so weird.
Smell.
Smells. I got to smell stuff when I first
Back up. Go. We are sniffing in case someone sneezes in it. We are going to be eating them.
I'm not gonna make it.
Jace, we'll eat them for you. 1 egg.
How do you I can't use eggs.
I know, as long as it's baked.
I can't eat
2. And
even though I'm only 7. I'm not even past 40.
You like to watch them out?
What does it look like? It's mango.
I knew what that Mixing it up. I'm not good at cooking, Ariana. Good,
You should copy the back.
I am, I'm copying a box. Okay, so you ready? When you're measuring, we had to measure the ingredients, but you also need to measure one more thing before this is done. Actually, 2. What are 2 more things? Ariana, stop. What are 2 more things that you will have to measure before this recipe is over? Can anyone think of something? Aliana?
The food.
Not the food. Maybe when you're cutting. Jalea?
The amount of the food here, which you're getting, to see what amount is the person gonna get the same amount as the other person.
I'm thinking of something we're not supposed to touch.
Oh, I got it.
Something you're not supposed to touch. Eli?
The food.
Nope, not the food.
But you can't touch it with your hands because you do not.
Amelia? The stove! When you're cooking, that's one more thing you have to measure. When you are cooking, you never ever touch the stove. Hot. Danger.
Mommy, my mom, she let me touch the microwave.
Fix your bottom.
I touch the microwave when it's done.
When you're cooking, you have to take the temperature and move it to make it hotter or colder.
And I know
There's one more thing you have to measure. And this is why Miss Floss is a bad cook. Because I burn stuff. Why do I burn stuff, Manaya? I did. I told you I burned stuff. So why? What did I do though? I left it in the oven to. Okay, so listen. So something else you need to measure is time. You need to measure how hot it is and time. Because if I'm cooking brownies for 45 minutes, when they come out, they are going to be burned. Burned. They're going to be burned. But if I follow the directions on the box, it says that I need to let them cook for 30 minutes. My friends, would you like to have some brownies?
Yeah. My mom.
Let me stop the video, guys, and we'll put some brownies up.